When do the doubts in those around us become self-created and not a warning from our intuition? Distrust feels like a heavy cloak. It whispers that the world is unsafe, that people will hurt us. Usually when you distrust someone, your energy immediately closes up and there is hesitancy to continue the relationship with someone or to embrace them into your network. This feeling of suspicion and wariness can color our experiences, making us question intentions and anticipate betrayal. Distrust is more than just a fleeting emotion. It's a deeply ingrained pattern of thinking and behaving. When this pattern is not looked at when your emotions are neutral, it becomes a problem. It becomes the only lens through which we view the world, often based on past hurts and disappointments. We may think we're protecting ourselves by holding on to distrust, but it comes at a steep price. It erodes our capacity for connection, intimacy, and joy. When we live in a state of distrust, we build walls instead of bridges, isolating ourselves from the very things that make life meaningful. Understanding where your distrust is coming from and its impact, both positive and negative, in advance is the first step towards having greater discernment on whether you should act on it or not. So where are your seeds of distrust coming from? Distrust often takes root in childhood. Early experiences of betrayal, neglect, or inconsistency can shape your view of the world as an unsafe place. If your caregivers were unreliable, or if our emotional needs weren't met, we may develop a deep-seated belief that others can't be trusted. These early wounds can stay with us, influencing our relationships and interactions throughout our lives. Beyond your personal experiences, societal and cultural factors also play a role in shaping your levels of trust. We live in a world where we're constantly bombarded with messages of fear, competition, and scarcity. From news headlines to social media feeds to reality TV to normalized toxic behaviors from the governing leaders to the family unity, we're exposed to a steady stream of information that reinforces the idea that the world is a dangerous place and people are not to be trusted. I mean, YouTube demonetizes some of the ridiculous words, and that power dynamic alone creates distrust and a lack of free-flowing information. Historical events, such as economic recessions, political scandals, or social injustices, can also contribute to a collective sense of distrust. When institutions and systems fail us, it's natural to question authority and approach the world with a healthy dose of skepticism. However, this skepticism can easily morph into cynicism and distrust when unchecked, making it challenging to rebuild faith in others and society as a whole. Moreover, psychological factors can influence our tendency towards distrust. Some individuals may have personality traits that make them more prone to suspicion or anxiety in relationships. I mean, we know a couple of people who tend to exaggerate everything. LOL, okay, I am looking in the mirror here. Anyway, past traumas such as abuse or assault can also leave you feeling vulnerable and wary of others. It's essential to recognize that distrust often stems from a place of hurt and self-protection. Considering all of this, not knowing which battles to pick because of poor energetic boundaries is costing you a lot. Distrust exacts a heavy toll on our well-being. It keeps us stuck in a cycle of fear and suspicion, preventing us from experiencing the joy and fulfillment that come with genuine connection. When distrust becomes your default state of being, you can't live in the moment and just enjoy what is. When we don't trust others, we limit our ability to form meaningful relationships, both personal and professional. This isolation can lead to feelings of loneliness, anxiety, and depression. You may find yourself constantly on edge, anticipating betrayal or disappointment at every turn. This hypervigilance can be emotionally draining, leaving you feeling exhausted and depleted. The impact of distrust extends beyond our emotional well-being. You become so disconnected to your spiritual body because you're taking responsibility for all the negative possibilities instead of surrendering them to God and your spirit team. This is sabotaging your success in various areas of life, because that energy, when undealt with, is blinding everything you do. In the workplace, distrust can hinder collaboration, innovation, and productivity. When colleagues don't trust each other and their leaders, they're less likely to share information freely, work together effectively, or take risks that could lead to breakthroughs. Teams work against each other instead of working fluidly together. In our personal lives, distrust can create distance and conflict in our relationships. It can lead to jealousy, possessiveness, and communication breakdowns. The constant suspicion and doubt can erode the foundation of even the strongest bonds, leaving you feeling lonely and disconnected. This distrust is amplified everywhere we look. Take a moment to think about it. Social media, with its curated versions of reality and potential for online anonymity, can fuel comparison, envy, and suspicion. We may find ourselves questioning the motives and authenticity of others based on their online personas, their social status, what they have that you don't have, their success that you low-key want for yourself or feel resentful you can't achieve because of your current circumstances, further deepens our sense of distrust. The rise of individualism in many cultures also contributes to a climate of distrust. As people prioritize their own needs and desires above the collective good, it can create a sense of competition and undermine social cohesion. This emphasis on self-reliance can make it harder to trust others and believe in the power of community. When we also witness corruption, inequality, or a lack of accountability, it's natural to feel disillusioned and question the motives of all those in power. This can lead to a sense of powerlessness and apathy, making it challenging to engage in constructive dialogue and work towards positive change. Consumerism is also playing a role in perpetuating distrust. We're constantly bombarded with advertising messages that prey on our insecurities and create a sense of lack. People putting money, profit, and greed over ethics, human beings' lives, souls, respecting bodies, and nature is making it all worse. This can lead us to view others as competitors, predators for scarce resources. The universe, God, is limitless. There is abundance everywhere, but what can those creating an inverted reality take from you if you already have everything? You're profitable to them when you believe more in your separation to God than in your union within. So, what can you do with this emotional toll? Distrust everywhere is making you carry a heavy weight on your shoulders. This emotional burden can manifest in various ways, affecting your mental and physical well-being as well. For example, chronic stress. When we don't trust others, our bodies stay in a heightened state of alert, constantly scanning for potential threats. This prolonged exposure to stress hormones can weaken our immune system, disrupt our sleep, and increase our risk for various health problems. Other examples are social isolation and loneliness. When we don't believe that others are trustworthy, we're less likely to reach out for support when you really need it. This isolation can create a vicious cycle, as social withdrawal can further fuel feelings of distrust and suspicion. When we're constantly on guard, expecting the worst from others, it's difficult to deepen our connection to our dreams made manifest and experience genuine happiness, gratitude, or love from it. Which is why you probably find yourself withdrawing from activities you once enjoyed, as well as approaching new experiences and opportunities with cynicism and apprehension. Nobody is going to invite a person who brings the negative vibes anywhere or connect them with their best people. By the way, we're still talking about the unbalanced distrust here. So where are you currently adding fuel to the inner fires that are causing more unnecessary in your life? Acknowledge your BS so you don't go around smelling shitty. This requires honest self-reflection and a willingness to examine how distrust might be showing up in our thoughts, feelings, and behaviors. Start by paying attention to your inner dialogue. What stories are you telling yourself about others? Are you quick to assume negative intentions or expect the worst? Notice your emotional reactions in different situations. Do you feel anxious, guarded, or suspicious in certain social settings or relationships? Identifying your triggers can help you understand the root of your distrust and develop strategies to manage it. Reflect on your past experiences. Have you been hurt or betrayed in ways that have shaped your current beliefs about trust? Understanding the origins of your distrust can be a powerful step towards healing and growth. What have been the circumstances that have caused great distrust in you? How did your body feel? Did your intuition engage you? Are you creating assumptions based on fact or your ego? Ouch, I know. Isolate the BS from the truth. Overcoming distrust is a journey that requires courage, compassion, and a willingness to be vulnerable. It's about learning to trust ourselves again, as well as developing the capacity to trust others. Healing from past hurts is an essential part of this process. This might involve seeking therapy, joining a support group, or engaging in practices that promote emotional regulation and self-compassion. Building trust requires vulnerability. It means allowing yourself to be seen and known by others, even with the risk of being hurt. You're not willingly dropping yourself into a den of lions. You're listening to your heart's desire to expand its emotional depth. And because this is the unknown for you, you're anticipating lions. Start by taking small steps, by being honest in your connections with yourself and others. As you experience positive interactions, your confidence in yourself and others will grow. Setting healthy for all your 4 boundaries is crucial for building trust. It's about learning to say no to what doesn't serve you and protecting your mental, spiritual, physical, and emotional well-being. When you establish clear boundaries, you communicate your needs and limits, creating a space for respectful and trusting relationships. Engage more in practical exercises that promote trust. This might involve practicing active listening, being accountable for your actions within yourself and outside of yourself, or expressing appreciation for others. It's the genuine, consistent thought that counts over time. Creating a culture of trust extends beyond individual efforts, requires a collective commitment to fostering open communication, empathy, and respect. This is why I adore my roots, the Bantu tribe. Our core value is Ubuntu. I am because you are. I can't say I am successful if you are not. Leaders who demonstrate integrity, transparency, and accountability inspire trust in their followers. They create environments where people feel safe to speak up, share ideas, and take risks. Open, safe, respectful, and honest dialogue is essential for building trust. This means creating spaces where people feel comfortable sharing different perspectives, even when those perspectives are challenging or uncomfortable. It's about listening with empathy and seeking to understand rather than judge and not make yourself wrong. Community heals. When we feel supported by others, we're more likely to take risks, be vulnerable, and trust that we'll be caught if we fall. Life naturally becomes easier by delegating tasks, problems to those who are naturally gifted at it and in love with the detangling process. This might involve exploring support groups, mentorship programs, or simply receiving and giving freely in times of deep need without making your ego have a say in it. I hope this helped you with any dis-ease. Anything, I am here to support you deeper on the Mathership. You can find more information below in description box. Subscribe, like, and share. I'd greatly appreciate it. Anyway, see you on the other side, soul.